Hello everybody, today we'll be going through a totally free domain flipping course. In this course, you will learn how to turn $10 into $100, $200, $300 or even more with domain flipping. This course contains more and better information than paid courses and doesn't require any prior knowledge. So, pull out your notebook and let's start. I know I get 0 views, but this course is legit and you won't regret going through it.
So first of all, I want to talk about the main advantages of domain flipping as a side hustle. Number one is its lower barrier to entry. You can start with as little as $10 and turn it into 100, and then choose if you want to reinvest it and turn it to 1,000, or if you want to follow a different path. Number two is that there is no location restriction. As long as you have a computer or a phone and an internet connection, you can make money with this side hustle. Number three is that it's really easy. Easy meaning that it does not require any special knowledge. This course is more than enough to get you started. And number four is that it's quick. It does not require you to work long hours. All you have to do is to buy the domain, put it up on auction, and depending on how fast you want to sell it, you can take some more steps, but then all you have to do is to wait for the email that your domain has been sold. There are two ways that someone can go about domain flipping. There are low ticket flips and there are high ticket flips. In low ticket flips, we're mainly focused on domains that are between $10 and $50. These domains are typically acquired from deleted, expired or drop domains, and we try to sell them as quick as possible, ideally within a day or a week. On the other hand, high ticket flips are mainly focused on domains worth more than $500 and are typically acquired from auctions, and it usually takes months or even years in order to sell them. In this course, we're going to be focusing on low ticket flips. So the contents of this course are the following. Number one is searching. We're going to look at the best websites to search for domains. Number two is evaluation and appraisal. This chapter is the most important one because here is where the money is made. If we don't evaluate a domain correctly, no matter how hard we try, we won't be able to find a buyer and make a profit. On the other hand, if our evaluation is correctly, we're going to have buyers contacting us in order to buy our domain. Number three is purchase and registration. We're going to be looking at the best domain registrars. Number four is finding a buyer. In this chapter, we're going to be looking at passive and active methods of finding a buyer for a domain. Number 5 is selling. And the last one will be a summary / a reality check. If you are going to skip any of these chapters, I would highly recommend to do not skip number 6. So searching. There are two main websites that are being used for this purpose. The one is expireddomains.net and the other one is justdrop.com. Me personally, I only use expireddomains.net. You can use this website for free, but you do have to sign up with your email. As you can see in this website, we can find all the marketplaces for domains there are. We can find GoDaddy, Sido, Namecheap, everything, and we can search for deleted domains. A deleted domain, or a drop domain or an expired domain, is a domain that the previous owner did not renew its registration for any reason. He forgot, or he didn't have the money to pay, or anything else, and we can buy it for really cheap, for around $10. Also, another reason why I only use expireddomains.net is because we are focused on low ticket flips, and for that reason we're going to be searching in the deleted domain section, and expireddomain.net has really good filters that will help us narrow down the domains that we have to look at. We're going to be looking at these filters in more detail in the next chapter. So evaluation and appraisal. In this chapter, we're going to define some factors that will help us set apart valuable domains. The first factor is that our domain should not have more than 15 characters. 50 to 20, depending on the situation, but extremely long domains are usually not that valuable. The second factor that our domain should comply with is no number. Of course, there are going to be exceptions like 24 fitness or invest in 101, but in general, we avoid domains with numbers in them. Next is brandable, meaning it should be easy to remember. And a good example of that are geo-domains or niche domains. Geo-domains are domains with location names in them. That would be a city, a neighborhood, or a district. And niche domains are domains with occupations or industries like plumbing, gardening, banking, or anything like that. And the best for low ticket flips is a combination of both of them. So domains like Clearwater Rentals or Florida Plumbing, etc. The next factor is 1 to 3 words max. These go hand in hand with the first factor, with the max character. Another really good detail our domain should have is high keyword search, meaning the keywords or the key phrase within our domain should get a lot of searches on Google. And to check that, we're going to go to Google Keyword Planner, enter our keywords or our key phrase, and check how many searches they get. If they get from 1K to 10K, that's our bare minimum. If they get more than that, that's perfect. But anything under 1K, it's bad. Unless, and now we're ending in the last factor, it's an uptrend. So let's say it's 2013 and you're already into crypto and you see the boom that's about to come. You should of course go ahead and buy every domain with cryptocurrency, NFT, even though they're not getting more than 1,000 searches a month. Okay, now how can we apply the previous factors in expireddomains.net filters so that we don't have to go through all 1 million something domains? The filters I like to use are all in characters, max characters 15, dictionary word domains English, and I also like to filter for only .com domains. You can also make money with .nets or .orgs, but me personally I haven't had much success with them, so I avoid them. There are many other filters like geodomains or geocombinations that I occasionally use, but I would recommend you to have a look in the different filters, play around and see what is working for you. Okay, let's say you have found a domain that complies with the criteria we set earlier and you want to buy it. Before you go ahead and buy it, you should run it through some appraisal tools. The best appraisal tools are GoDaddy Domain Value Appraisal, Estibot, Domain Price Checker, and NameBio. Now we're gonna run this domain that I own through all these appraisal tools to see the dynamics of each one. First, you're gonna run it through GoDaddy's appraisal tool. All we have to do is type in our domain, and GoDaddy will give us an estimate on how much our domain is worth. But of course, GoDaddy will try to hype us up in order to buy the domain and gives us a crazy estimate, like in this case almost $1,400, which is not realistic at all, and that's why we're going to use other appraisal tools as well. With Estibot is the same process, but in this case, as you can see, Estibot is giving us a much more realistic price. As you can see, $520. Let's also do Domain Price Checker to see what it will give us, and in this case under $100. Okay, we're going to ignore this one. And last one, NameBio, where we just have to enter the domain keywords one by one, and the NameBio will not give us a set price for our domain, but it will show us the price and the date that domains containing the keyword we have entered have been sold for, and with that we can determine the demand of similar domains. A good sign would be a high price and a recent date. Okay, now we're going to go through the purchase and registration process. The way you buy a domain is by registering it through a domain register. The best domain registrars are Namecheap, GoDaddy, Bluehost, Domain.com, and Porkbun. If you want a detailed comparison on the different domain registers, I would suggest you to go and watch this video Backrail made, which explains the advantages and disadvantages of each domain register. The key takeaways are that GoDaddy is the most expensive, Porkbun is the cheapest, and Namecheap is probably the best option. I personally only use Namecheap and GoDaddy, but you might choose otherwise. Okay, now, but how can you actually buy a domain? Well, it's really simple. All you have to do after you find a domain that you want to purchase on expireddomain.net is just left click on it and pick either GoDaddy or Namecheap and go through the purchasing process, which is just like any other online purchase. Or if you want to use a different domain register, just go to their website, type in the domain you want to purchase, and go through the purchasing process. Okay, now we're going to look at passive and active methods of finding a buyer. There are two main passive methods that we can employ in order to find a buyer. We can place our domain into a domain marketplace, or we can hire a broker. Brokers are only used in very expensive domains, so we're going to skip this method. Now we're going to go through some domain marketplaces that you can put your domain for sale. Number one is GoDaddy auctions. You do have to pay $5 a year in order to take part in these auctions, but you can sell a domain under any register in GoDaddy auctions. Your domain doesn't have to be registered under GoDaddy in order to sell it here. Number two is Afternic, which is free. Number three is Namecheap, which, unlike GoDaddy, does not allow you to sell domains that are not registered under Namecheap. Meaning, if you have a domain registered under GoDaddy, you cannot sell it in the Namecheap marketplace. You can also sell your domain on Sido.com or Flippa, but these websites are not free to use and you have to pay a monthly subscription, so I wouldn't recommend them unless your domain is worth more than $500. So if you're trying to sell your domain faster, you should also employ the active methods, which are contacting your potential customer via email or with cold calling. You can also create a listing on various marketplaces like eBay or Craigslist. You can also create a website, but with low ticket flip it's not worth it. So I own this domain, and as you can see, it's a geodomain. It contains an area in Florida, Clearwater, and if I want to sell this ASAP, I could just go to Google Maps, type in Clearwater, and start searching for boat rental businesses and start sending them emails. And in the emails I would write the benefits of using this domain, like for SEO purposes, and also that this domain are service authority because it's exact search match and the customers feel more confident that it's in the right place. And that is it pretty much for finding a buyer. Okay, now selling. If you sold your domain through GoDaddy, Sido, Flippa, Namecheap, or any other domain marketplace, the process shouldn't be that hard since they will take care of most of the things. Now, you can sell your domain through direct reach and try to avoid the 20% commission that most domain marketplaces charge, but I wouldn't recommend this method because you can get scammed. Unfortunately, domain flipping is a scam. Just go to any domain marketplace and you can find basically unlimited domains with zero bids. And these listings are from people like you and me who thought they were going to make easy money flipping domains, but all they end up doing is losing their money and their time. I wouldn't recommend domain flipping to anyone. There are way better methods to make money online. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching.